Hashem. Kavod, hallelujah. Kavod, hallelujah. Kavod, hallelujah. Baruch Hashem. Hallelujah.
The music, y'all said it was too creepy. Yeah, y'all said it was. Yes, y'all said it was too creepy. Right, right. Somebody's scared of clowns or something. And so I said I'll spare them this time. Yeah, I know how y'all are. Was that me? You click off of it. Hey, y'all pay attention. All right. We all good? We ready? All right, shalom, everyone. I got some good feedback last week for the lesson. Yeah, yeah, we'll see about the last 2 or 3 slides. We'll see how that works out. Yeah. I'm gonna spare y'all. Let's just go on to the rules. Get this thing popping. All right. Please keep your mic muted except when asking or answering a question. Use the mic to speak. There's a feature on Zoom in the meeting room where you can raise your hand if you have a question. All questions must be on the topic. You have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. If you pass your 60-second window, your mic will be muted for you. These rules are due to time and the recordings of the lessons. They are live teachings. We must give the Moreh enough time to complete the lesson. This will be mixed with discussions to help build one another. Please do not abuse the time. No one does that, huh? All right. Accountability is a two-way street. Either walk the same path or cross to the other side. Now, Moreh Chanan says that he's going to be doing something on accountability for the next couple weeks. So I thought I'd just give y'all a little intro if you don't mind. You don't mind, do you? You don't sound too convincing. Oh, that's all right. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, y'all might be in trouble. I don't see Google's not here, huh? Oh, no. Yeah, that don't mean nothing. Yeah. He's online. Somebody tell me, what does accountability mean? Not all at once. You can use it in a sentence? Go ahead, Nadama.
Accountability, I think, means taking responsibilities for one's own actions.
Okay. That's a good one. Anybody else? You got one? Go ahead.
Taking ownership.
Okay. Ownership. Anyone else? No? Okay. All right. The fact or condition of being accountable or responsibility. And similar, we see responsibility, liability, answerability, right? Responsibility for explaining or justifying one's actions. And reporting. Now, reporting is to give a spoken or written account of something that one has observed, heard, done, or investigated. Sound like somebody's, this lesson right on time, ain't it? They ain't even paying attention. Like, I ain't hear that. Simply put, to give an account of or to give details. To be obedience, all right? If you have that obedience, this is all the opposite of unaccountability. I know everybody in here is accountable for each other, right? Yeah, that's real quiet. The quality or state of being accountable, especially in obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. It sounds like a witness, too. Oh, I guess that would be me. Okay. How we doing? Yeah? You already know what kind of lessons it's going to be, huh? Accountability. Accountability in terms of ethics and governance, all right, is equated with answerability, blameworthiness, liability, and the extension of account giving. As in an aspect of governance, it is it has been central to discussions related to problems in the public sector, nonprofit, and private and individual context. So no matter if it's public, private, or it has to deal with you, you always got to take some type of accountability for something, right? You have to first practice being accountable for your own actions. This will help to stop the total disregard for things that happen that are in your control. Now, does anyone have any examples of when it's appropriate to hold yourself accountable according to the world and this walk? All right, so you can give me either or. Go ahead. This might get her the mic behind you. Throw it out. There you go. At the bottom. At the bottom. You press it.
All right, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Mhm.
Shoot. It was a good example.
Yeah, it's a mic to you.
It's a good example. It was brain fog. It was so good. I'm so sorry.
No. Give me an example of when you have to take
I got one.
accountability. There
So
you
in the world or in this walk, it would be, so if there's a disagreement or something like that, make sure that we look in the mirror first. Just make sure you own up to your part and you know, so on and so forth.
You try to tell somebody else what they didn't do wrong in the argument. Did you make sure that you didn't do it wrong too? Go ahead.
Being accountable to Torah.
Oh, we're gonna find out today. Go ahead.
One thing that came to mind was like when you give the tithe, you have to know you know how much you're producing, how much you're bringing in, and what the 10th of that is. That's the Father's portion.
You got kind of technical, didn't you? This. I understand. Yahuah. Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah. Also, if you've promised Father that you were going to do something, or if you've made a vow and you have to follow through with that, or if you say you're going to do something you don't, so you're not a hypocrite, you have to follow through with those things and do them.
Okay.
Accountability goes hand in hand with your integrity.
Mm.
So if you don't have any integrity, you're not going to be much accountability for yourself or even for others.
Mm. Yeah, like I said, first got to start with you. You had some young man. You had your hand up. I was changed your mind. Go ahead, Nama.
Let your yeses be your yeses and your no's be your no's.
Yeah. Yes and yes. All right. Anyone else? Hmm? Who that? Okay.
When I think about accountability, I also think about like taking that beam out of your own eye first, before you try to remove it from someone else, because you're going to injure them by not taking account of your own actions first.
Oh yeah.
How you're perceiving things.
All right. You good? Lay one more thing on you. You'll see this again. The G3056, that is my favorite word, is logos. Y'all know about that logos, right? All right. It's a word or a message with the sense of it being a narrative account, right? It's a record or narrative description of past events, especially for the determination of accountability. Y'all do know, when that judgment comes, all this stuff y'all been saying and doing, that stuff has been recorded, right? Oh, yeah. You can't get out of this one. No. Line 2, paragraph 4. It says it right here. Huh? Can you imagine that? But do you understand? It's not just the fact that it's a record. You have to give the account for that. I'm just saying. Oh yeah. When you've been told what not to do and what to do, you still want to do the latter, huh? Oh boy. All right. Isaiah 45, 23 to 24. Turn. Now this is the H6437, which is what? Panah, right? It's a prime root, meaning to turn to, towards, or around, or away. Now, this is with the sense to change orientation or direction, also in the abstract sense of existing in thought or as an idea, but not having a physical or concrete existence. Now, what does that mean? Think about what an abstract is. When you think about what the Greeks do, everything is in the abstract, but what do we do? Everything is in the what? Everything is concrete, right? It's a verb. Everything. We all about actions when we're doing something in the Hebrew, right? We're not just, it's right. It's not just a concept. It's not. We're not just thinking of an idea and maybe this could happen. The Father tells you to do something. This is what you're supposed to do. No. This no may perhaps or maybe in it, right? So it says to turn to me and be saved, all you ends of the earth, for I am El, and there is none else. I have sworn by myself, a word has gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return, so that to me every knee shall bow, every tongue swear. And look at 24. One shall say, only in Yahuah do I have righteousness. Now, this is the H6666, which is what? It's all right. It's a dekah. This is honesty, justice, justness, community loyalty, and we're going to get back to that one. Entitlement, just cause or just deeds. Now, all of this is with a sense of righteousness, adherence to what is required according to a standard. Now, I always ask this question, what is that standard that we should be adhering to? Oh, okay, look, yeah, I know. For example,
Torah.
For example, a moral standard, though not always, all right? So it says, only in Yahuah do I have righteousness and strength. He comes to me. He comes to him. And all those displeased with him shall be put to shame. You know where your righteousness come from. There should be no displeasure in it, should it? That's part of taking accountability right there. Remember we talked about last week? All right. Now, going back to community loyalty, right? This suggests as it is an important component in relationships, whether romantic, family-based, social, or otherwise. It can help build stronger bonds and create social support. Now, loyalty can be fostered by being honest, supportive, respectful, appreciative, and yes, loyal. Yeah, that's that community love we've been talking about, right? Okay, we'll get back to it. Now, in the context of these verses, right? You leave when, right? When's okay. You will find these things in the Father, not always in man, and certainly not always in yourselves. Either turn to him or away from him. Turn from the things that are taking you away from the Father and be saved from coming destruction, because it's coming. Now, we always say, oh, the end time is coming. It's not necessarily the end time that's coming, but the separation is. That's what you need to be ready for. What I say about accountability, either you get on this side of the street or the other. You have to recognize that only in him is righteousness available, and not become like the many that will continue to rage against him. Because if you remember the wheat and the tares, who's going first? The tares. Oh, okay.
The tares.
Yeah. The rapture, huh? Don't. All questions and comments, please go to the email. Romans 14:6-13. He who minds the day minds it to Yahuah. And he who does not mind the day to Yahuah, he does not mind it. He who eats to Yahuah, for he gives Elohim thanks. And he who does not eat to Yahuah, he does not eat and gives Elohim thanks. For not one of us lives to himself, and not one dies to himself. We go see this again next week too. For both, if we live unto the master, and if we die unto the master. You ain't got no say-so in this. Therefore, whether we live or die, we are the masters. For unto the Mashiach died and rose and lived again, to rule over both the dead and the living. But why do you judge your brother? Or why do you despise your brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Mashiach. Oh, there they go again. There go that judgment seat. For it has been written, as I live, says Yahuah, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to Elohim. Each one of us, therefore, shall give an account of himself to Elohim. See, we done went right back to it. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter what stage of this walking in, or if you're not in this walk, you still have to give an account to the Father. All right? Therefore, let us not judge one another any longer, but rather judge this, not to put an obstacle or stumbling block in our brother's way. Don't nobody do that, right? Okay, 1 Corinthians 8:13. Therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, and this is the G4624, it's a common word that you know. All right, so this is scandalizo, but what word does it sound like? Okay, it's scandalous now. Cause to sin. But for sins to cause to sin or to trip, to cause someone to sin, often with an idea of finality or falling away, conceived of as causing someone to stumble and fall. So therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, I will never eat meat, lest I make my brother stumble. I know some of y'all saying, I ain't giving enough meat for nobody. This is my steak. No, it's not the same, right? All right. This is what community loyalty is all about. Better yet, this is what serving others is all about when you walk the right way in this truth. Okay? This is a part of taking accountability, not just for yourself, but for your people around you. Again, just like in that ketubah, did it have something like that said? Oh, man, this lesson was right on time, wasn't it? I did too, didn't I? I was a witness. Oh, so I got to keep you accountable too, huh?
That's it. That's right, buddy.
Oh,
I know all about it.
thank you, y'all. Thank you, y'all. One essential thing is to render service to the Father, no matter the day or what you eat, and so on. You are to live as men who are to give an account to Him. Now, you want that account to be righteous in nature, don't you? Oh, I only heard one. Yeah. Oh, okay. Whew, man. It's quick to listen, slow to speak, huh? So you must do these things in accordance with the word and not the world. Okay. All right. Now I told you there ain't no trick questions here. Man. I got that. We gonna get out of here quick. My bad. Proverbs 13:20. He who walks, now this is to live or behave in a specific manner with the wise, and this is when you're walking with a wise man, shall be wise. But the companion of fools suffers evil. You don't want to be with that. All right, now, wisdom can be contagious, and being in the company of wise people can lead to personal growth and development. Now, on the other hand, the dangers of associating with foolish or unwise people can also be contagious. All right? Such associations can lead to negative consequences and harm. Make sure that you're choosing one's companions wisely and surrounding oneself with virtuous and wise people. These associations can have a positive impact on one's personal growth and development, while understanding that the negative consequences of associating with these unwise or foolish people can have the opposite effect and mess up anything positive that you're trying to do in your life, especially in this walk, right? All right, even in this walk, it does not apply, right? So more so because Torah demands obedience and a sound mind with a fear of Yah. This is how you get that wisdom. Okay. All right. Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpened by iron, and a man sharpens the face of his friends. Anybody take a guess what that means? This without, I know this is the scripture. It sounds a little weird. No, ain't nobody get no knife. You might cut nobody's face up now. Come on. Huh? Yeah, I know. Sharpen, iron sharpens iron. What does that mean? Oh my goodness. No. They're gonna have to look it up for themselves. I gave them a chance. This verse uses the metaphor of sharpening iron tools to describe the way in which people. Oh, not a mind. I give it to you. Go ahead.
Oh, Shalom, Moreh.
Uh-huh.
It's like a reflection of the type of people you keep, your company you keep. If you're around good and wise people, then that's a reflection on you. Iron sharpens iron. If you're around foolish people, then that's also a reflection on you.
Well, how about we throw the word accountability in there?
Okay, accountable, right? If you're around a fool, then you're gonna become a you pick up their actions. You start behaving like a fool. But if you're around a wise person, you become wise. You think wise, and you are more responsible for your actions. You think wise. Wisdom is with you. But when you become a fool, you behave like a fool. You act like a fool. You think like a fool. Therefore, you have no accountability for your actions.
All right. You don't want to answer now? Okay.
All right. So
Go ahead. I got you. I'll count it down.
all right. So
Okay.
if you think about ironing, sharpening iron, we can use that metaphor as dealing with the Father's word, helping each other out.
Mhm.
Other ways of looking at iron sharpening iron is by our actions and the way we do things. In the word also sharpens each other as well. And this is the face of his friend, his companion, lover, X, Y, and Z, that our actions should be able to sharpen that person if we're doing it the righteous way, since this is the topic of it, or the accountability of it, is by the way we do things righteously can help sharpen that person.
Remember the whole thing. Well, I forgot what I was about to say. Anyway, I'll come back to it. Yo, Sean.
It's the similar lines. Like iron's something that's very, very hard and strong. So if someone's following the law, statutes, and commandments very strong and hard, like iron, then that you're setting an example to you. So your friend that's with you will see that, and he will strengthen to your level because because iron's strong. So you both be strong and following those law, statutes, and commandments.
I remember I was going to say, you would know them by your fruit. If they see you doing
correct, yes.
Yeah, they see you doing something specific that's according to Torah, they're supposed to be able to do the same thing because they see you do it. Now, just like we talked about on the flip side of that, if you're doing something that's not a part of Torah, and you around the same person, what type of negative impact would that have on them, right?
Right, yeah, they're going to slip into that, exactly, yep.
I'm so glad y'all can't hear that. All right. This is a metaphor of sharpening iron tools to describe the way in which people can benefit from the company and feedback of others, right? They will know you by your fruit. Iron tools can become dull over time and require sharpening to remain effective. Similarly, individuals can become complacent and stagnant in their personal growth in this walk and require the input and challenge of others to continue growing and developing. Healthy relationships are categorized by mutual support and encouragement. People, you got to encourage one another, right? As each person works to help the other become their best selves, a positive relationship can have a significant impact on an individual's personal growth and well-being. It pays to be nice to one another through the Mashiach that strengthens us. Basically saying what? If you're doing this through the word, right? That's going to be the ironing, sharpening, ironing. That's what's going to strengthen you. Right? Yeah. Boy, I tell you. Hebrews 4:12-13. For the word of Elohim is living and working and sharper than any two-edged sword, cutting through even to the dividing of being and ruah, of the joints and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart. You know about that wicked heart, right? And there is no creature hidden from his sight, but all are naked and laid bare before the eyes of him with whom is our account. There goes that logos again, right? All right. Hebrews 3:12-19. Look out, brothers, lest there be any of you a wicked heart of unbelief. Now, this is wished to be morally or bad or wrong. And when it comes to unbelief, it's the trait of not trusting in and relying on someone or something, especially use of not trusting in or relying on Elohim of Israel and Yahushua as his Mashiach. All right, so a heart of unbelief and falling away from the living Elohim. But encourage one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. Don't get distracted and let sin lead you astray. You have your orders. You have what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to be able to do to keep you on the up and up. Even when it comes to one another, you still have an obligation to do. And when you stray away from these certain things, you're pulling yourself away. We talked about that last week. Obedience is the name of the game, no matter what it is, big or small. And I see that most of the problem is when it comes to one another. Remember what I said? You're supposed to be doing these things even if this person is someone you don't like. Is it about how you feel or what the Father told you to do? All right, I'm just asking. For we have become partakers of Mashiach, believing in the word. If we hold fast the beginning of our trust, all right, not likely to fail or give way, firm to the end. While it is said today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in rebellion. For who having heard rebelled? Was it not all who came out of Mitzrayim led by Moshe? And with whom has he grieved for 40 years? Was it not with those who sinned, whose course failed in the wilderness? They ain't go nowhere. And to whom did he swear that they would not enter into his rest? But to those who did not obey. So we see that they were unable to enter in because of what? Unbelief. You can have unbelief because of the way that you think when you want to do the things that you want to do. That has no room in the kingdom, so why would he put you there? And you have to understand, we're saying, well, when the Mashiach comes back, he's supposed to change our hearts. But yeah, but if you can't even practice it now, what's it going to matter? No. Yeah, he's going to lead you right on out there, going over there. But I got all these over here. They will actually listen to me when they had the chance. Right? We must understand the power and authority of the Father's word, which is alive and active and has the ability to penetrate the deepest parts of a person's being, no matter what stage of this walk, it's supposed to be this walk, you're in. The word can convict you at any time. The word of the Father can expose and judge the thoughts and attitudes of the heart, and we all know how wicked that heart is. It is a daily task to keep your heart and your inner being in check, and nothing is hidden from the Father's sight, no matter what you say or do in your head. He already know. And what Moreh say about that Malachim, he's right there by you. He recording it. I told you gotta be accountable for this stuff.
I heard what you said. I didn't even open my mouth.
Yeah, well, you said you ain't have to. Ultimately, we will all be accountable to the Father and must give an account for our actions. And yes, your thoughts, y'all. So if you said there, hi, shalom, you're like, don't touch me, don't touch me. That was recorded. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, it was funny, but do you understand this? The little things are being recorded. It is essential to keep faith in the Father and apply his word to your life. Avoid turning away from him, or else you may fail to enter his rest. Therefore, believers shall encourage and support each other in their faith journey and stay vigilant against the deceitfulness of sin. This is a you help me, I help you situation. All right? Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Not long as it's clean. Come on, man. That was oh no. No, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. Can't believe he said that. What does it mean to be elected? Oh, go ahead. Gotta press that button.
I did.
There you go.
Chosen.
Okay. Okay. That's a quick way of saying it. Now, Mana. Gotcha.
Selected.
Selected. All right. Go ahead.
To be sealed with the Ruach.
Ooh. Okay. Sealed with the Ruach. Just in case it's a little low, you couldn't hear. He said sealed with the Ruach. Young man, you had the mic in your hand. It's the second time now. I'm gonna give you one more chance now. You get so many chances around here. Anybody else? Who can say it? Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go, Rabbi Google. Go ahead.
I got chosen for salvation through divine mercy.
Oh. That didn't sound like Rabbi, did it? But go ahead. Hold on.
Appointed.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that. Y'all, Sean?
Yeah, those that have received Mashiach as Savior.
Well, you do have to be chosen. Sort of, kind of. We'll see. Right. Go ahead.
Anointed.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? I don't know what's going on with Rabbi Google, man. Is that why he's not here? All right. In a broad sense, all right, it's an act or process of electing, right? The fact of being elected. We're not talking about this. Predestination to eternal life. No, we're not gonna go there. Hey, we're not going there. Okay. The right, power, or privilege of making a choice. Yeah, predestination. Come on, y'all. Come on. Is that what it? This is what we're going to focus on, right? The action of electing or the fact of being elected. Now, the question will be, by whom are you being elected? That's a rhetorical question. You got to think about that on your own, okay? Now, in terms of the Father, right? Divine election is Elohim's choice of a people or person for himself, right? Royal priesthood, that's what he said. This choice usually entails a calling or task to be accomplished. The concept of divine election is grounded in concept of human leaders choosing and appointing people from various tasks. Somebody said my time is up. Is that what you said? All right. Class over. All right. Nehemiah 9, 7 and 8. You are Yahuah, the Elohim who chose Abram and brought him out of Ur-Kasdim or the Chaldees and gave him the name of Abraham and found his heart trustworthy before you and made a covenant with him to give the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Jebusites, and the Girgashites, to give it to his seed. And you have established your words, for you are righteous. We're going to focus on that word chose, right? It's the H977, which is what? It's a bit hard. It's a prime root to try, right? And some of the things that you all said, to select, the acceptable, appoint, choose, or the choice, right? You can be excellent, be rather, or be required. And some of us, I have been required, like me being up here and somebody being back there that don't want to be up here, but he's required to be up here, even though he don't want to be up here, huh? You got to, he got to accept the appointment. That's what he got to do. Examine, choose, preferred, or to be tested. Someone who is preferable to be examined. All right. You want, yeah, it's exactly right. You want to remember there's a certain type of suffering you want to go through. Lest you know that the Father is keeping his eye on you. And when you start going through nothing and starting to get things your way, now you want to start questioning some things. What's going on? Yeah. Hold on now. Remember how I said that there will always be tests. Now, you can't ask the Father to use you. Use me, Father, and then complain about the things he's putting you through. Yeah. No. You got to give me the easy task. Sound like somebody over there talking about Junior Moreh. Yeah. Nothing. I ain't talking about nothing. You have to be careful about what you ask of the Father. You may not like what you get as a result. Right? The thing is, he's going to put you through it to see if you really want that or not. Right? How bad do you want? Yeah, let's see. Genesis 15:5-7. And he brought him outside and said, look now toward the heavens of Shamaim and count the stars if you are able to count them. And he said to him, so are your seed. And he what? And he believed. Now this is to have faith and put one's trust in. So, and he believed in Yahuah, and he reckoned, which means to consider or deem to be it to him for righteousness. Your faith is going to consider that to be righteous, y'all. And he said to him, I am Yahuah who brought you out of Ur-Kasdim, or the Chaldees, this is up there, to give you this land to inherit it. Your faith is going to open up so many doors for you. Depending on what you hear, apparently, because if it ain't what you want to hear, yeah, that door going to slam in somebody's face. You understand what I'm saying here? It's not just about obedience, but taking accountability for the things that you want and the things that you hear when it comes from the Father. That's why the lesson is the art of hearing and or listening. Because if you can't get that right and you going through these things with your emotions and how you feel, instead of putting the things that he wants first, it's going to be some dire consequences that you're not going to be able to come back from. Because in past lessons we talked about, once you open up that door back, that bad boy hard to close. And now you have to continue to fight through that, and now you won't be obedient. So now he's going to give you double the trouble, because now you got to try to be obedient, and you still got to close this door that you opened up because you wasn't obedient in the first place. Okay, let's see what kind of compliments I get on this lesson this time. What does it mean to be self-appointed? Then we're gonna get up out of here. This ought to be good right here. I can't wait to hear this. Yeah. That's a good song. Anybody? Come on now. Hold on. Let's let the youngster go first. He took that third chance.
Claiming ownership of something?
As opposed to who? Are you claiming ownership of something?
I say yes.
Yeah. Okay. I give you that. Go ahead, Ima.
It's all about me, myself, and I.
That's what it is. Who? Not a mono?
Shalom, Moreh. It's like to nominate oneself, to appoint oneself. You know, I mean, it's like to nominate oneself. I'm put to you like that.
Okay, I'll take it. One boy, email one boy.
Yeah, Toda Moreh, I would think that self-appointed, if you give yourself a job that's not yours, you decide, okay, this needs to be done, and it's not Yahuah who has put it to you, or it's not, if it's in a case of assembly, if it's even in a case of a family, you decide, oh, I'm good at this thing, so I'll do it regardless of whether you have the calling, whether you have the ability, and you might even have the ability, but are you called to do that? That, for me, I would consider self-appointment, Toda.
Ooh. All right, Yahuah, you gonna have to follow that.
Yeah, I was just asking too, would that kind of make you like being self-righteous in a way? Like, but self-appointing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be self-conceited, but I don't know what's righteous.
Well, right, yeah, right, yeah.
Righteousness is all. It's a.
Well, I said self-righteously though.
Yeah.
There's a difference, right?
Yeah. All right. Anyone? Oh, go ahead, Rabbi. Like you'll know.
Having assumed a position or role without the endorsement of others.
That's who I wanted to hear. Yeah. I see you had to pray real quick. You got it back. All right. Anybody else? Sometimes I don't like the way you do it though, because having assumed a position or role without the endorsement. Welcome back. But you can say this one there. See, look, appointed by oneself. All right, so it kind of goes back to what Mwambui was saying, right? You're having assumed that position yourself, even though you know the Father got it for somebody else, right? Or did you even go to the Father first before you assumed to do that in the first place? Oh, you told Yah, huh? Okay. It's going to get a little hot under your feet. You keep doing that. Yeah, you're going to bless y'all. H6966, right? It's cool. To set up, rise, arise, set about, stand and endure. Now this, and you're going to see this a lot from these next couple of slides, with the sense of to appoint a duty, right? To assign a duty, a responsibility, or obligation to someone, right? We got 3 people up in here who got obligations. That's a wall. You can't look at the wall. You got to look at me when I say that. Okay. We all got obligations. Everybody. It's not just Morehs, right? We all have something or some type of purpose the Father has given us to do. Right? All in different capacities, right? Yeah. Joy in your heart. Hebrews 5:1-5. For every priest taken from among men is appointed. Now this is the G2525. You might want to take a stab at it before I say it. I parsed it out just right for you to say it. You guys, there you go, Kadisa Tamay. To assign to someone a position of authority over others, to put in charge of, to appoint, to designate. Now, once again, this is with the sense to be appointed. Now, this is in the state, right? To be or become a sign of duty, responsibility, or obligation. So let's read it again. For every priest taken from among men is appointed on behalf of men in matters relating to Elohim. It didn't say every priest taken from among men is appointed. It's saying man is appointing this, right? Okay. To offer both gifts and offerings for sins, being able to have a measure of feeling for those not knowing and being led astray, since he himself is also surrounded by weakness. And on account of this, he has to offer for sins as for the people, so also for himself. I make my eye twist sometimes when y'all send me stuff. That's okay. And no one obtains this esteem for himself, but he who is called by Elohim. So you can just disregard that definition, right? You can't call yourself for this. Even as Aharon also was, so also the Mashiach, or the Messiah, did not exalt himself to become high priest, and we will read about that next week. But it was he who said to him, "You are my son today. I have brought you forth." All right. This is where it's going to get good. This is where it's going to get good right here. And we're going to close this thing on now. Remember, being self-appointed is having assumed a position or role without the endorsement of others, or appointed by oneself. Now, let's see if anyone qualifies for this position. You see if your hand's going to go up. First, the high priest is selected from among men and appointed to act on behalf of the people in relation to the Father. The role of the high priest was to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins on behalf of the people, as well as to intercede for them before the Father. Who can do that? Who's called Oh, okay. I'm just. These are questions that I'm asking. Okay. Second, the high priest is someone who is able to deal gently with the ignorant and the wayward, since he himself is subject to weakness. That's why I always talk about checking your emotions and your feelings that put you in a position to fall away from the Father and his word. Now, this highlights the importance of empathy and compassion. We talked about that last week, right? In the role of the high priest, as he is called to understand and relate to the struggles of the people he serves. Now, how many of you are sensitive to other people's feelings and are able to subjectively give advice and or comfort when needed, especially people you say get on your nerves? Huh? No, subjectively. See, you think objectively. See, you already messed up right there. See, now if y'all not raising y'all hand, then who else can do this? Oh, okay, okay. Go ahead now, man.
Although I was just, raising my hand. Yeah, I was just, because you ask how many people. I'm like, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to, endure and deal with people that get on your nerves, that make you want to kind of lose it.
Oh yeah. If that's your calling, if you've been called to do that, yeah, no, they do not. No, they do not. Boy, I'm gonna be sensitive and keep going. Third, the high priest is required to offer sacrifices not only for the sins of the people, but also for his own sins. This serves as a reminder that even the high priest, who holds a position of great authority and responsibility, is not exempt from sin and in need of atonement. But when you're self-appointed, can you atone for yourself to yourself? I think somebody online just closed it out. If you appointed yourself to do these things, who do you answer to? Yeah, what you said is a great song. This is why last week I said to stop using the excuse that I'm waiting on the Father. How can you be waiting on the Father when you're trying to do the things that he appoints the people around you to do? You're trying to take this on yourself, but you want to name drop him, saying this is what I'm doing. No. He didn't appoint you to appoint yourself. I can see somebody raise their hand. Okay. All right. No one can take the honor of the position of high priest upon himself, but must be called by the Father. Okay. This emphasizes the divine nature of the appointment and underscores the importance of the high priest's relationship with the Father. You can't just name drop the Father in your foolishness and think that that's all it takes. Lastly, this ultimately points to who? Yahuah, as the ultimate high priest. Okay, I just wanted to see what y'all was at. That's all. Who was appointed by the Father and fulfilled all the qualifications of the high priest as described in the preceding verses. Okay. All right. In other words, these verses highlight the importance of empathy, compassion, and divine appointment in the role of the high priest, as well as the significance of Yahuah as the ultimate high priest who fulfilled all the qualifications and duties of the position. Not everyone is equipped to handle such a task. You can't be blinded by the hatred for another or self-proclamation that you forget the purpose that the Father has placed you here for. Everybody wants a title. Huh? Y'all don't? Oh. Okay. I'm about to say, because if y'all want the title, you can have this one. I give it. I will give it. I tell you, boy, I tell you. Numbers 27, 16, and 17. Let Yahuah the Elohim of the rulers of all flesh appoint. This is the H6485, which is Pakad. All right, it's a prime root, means to visit, inspect, look at, see, command, or summon. All right, to muster, avenge, afflict, or hand over. Again, this is with the sense to appoint, to assign a duty, responsibility, or obligation to someone. So let's read that again. Let Yahuah, the Elohim, or the rulers of all flesh, appoint a man over the congregation. Did he say let man appoint someone over the congregation? Or he said, okay. Who goes out before them and comes in before them, who leads them out and brings them in, so that the congregation of Yahuah be not like sheep without a shepherd. Okay. All right. In Jeremiah 3:15, return, O backsliding children, declares Yahuah, for I shall rule over you and shall take you, one from a city and two from a clan, and shall bring you to Sion. And I shall give, not you, but the Father, right? This is the H5414, which is what? The time. It's a prime root to give, hand down, set, a place, lay, allow, surrender, or turn into. Again, with the sense to appoint, to assign a duty, responsibility, or obligation to someone. So I shall give you shepherds according to whose heart? Okay, my heart means Yahuwah's heart. And they shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Now you got to understand, me being up here or another Moreh being up here, we can give you all this information, but who is ultimately going to give you that understanding to what you're hearing? He has to convict you with this, not me. I'm merely the messenger. I'm telling you what he wants you to hear. But you had to believe in that, just like he had Abraham to do, right? He had to believe, and when you believe, what happens? That door opens up, right? Isaiah 27:12. And in that day it shall be that Yahuah threshes, now the ESV says threshing grain, from the channel of the river to the Wadi of Mitzrayim, and you shall be gathered one by one, O children of Israel. Remember what I said, this is not the end that's coming, it's the separation. You have to get yourself together to get separated. Now, either you're going to be on the good side or the bad side. That is up to you. There ain't no predestination over here. He going to give you that choice, either which way you're going to go. Okay? Now, you're starting to see something. You're supposed to let the Father appoint someone over your life. This isn't a job for you. And we talked about this last week. We can't do the things that the Father does. That's not what we're here for. This is why some of us have a hard time with discernment. You're not in a position or have made yourself ready to be in that position to make the decisions that you're making. Now, I'll be the first to admit that it takes a very special person to recognize this and humble themselves, not just with words, but with actions, and change their ways. If you can do that with all sincerity, you're well on your way to be able to get on that bus. All right? You already on there? That you saying? Okay. Is it any questions or comments pertaining to the lesson? He on some type of bus. I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead, my boy.
Yeah. Toda Rabba Moreh for the lesson. My understanding is that you are talking about leadership of our congregation or assembly, and then how do we navigate that when, in view of what Yahuah says about calling us to be a kingdom of priests? And with that all, I do understand that that does not mean that, we just do whatever we want to do, but how do we reconcile the two? How can we carefully navigate through that of being of the royal priesthood, but not overstepping the appointed leadership of an assembly? I hope I'm making myself clear.
But even with being a nation of priesthood, there still had to be somebody to teach them something, right?
Ken.
there still has to be someone that's going to impart that information to you. You can't just get that on your own. So you have to be able to listen to someone that's been placed over you to give you that information so you can go out. When the disciples went out, did they already have that information?
No.
They had to have their teacher, who was a Mashiach, teach them what they needed to know in order to go out and teach it to the world, right? It's the same premise. It's the same premise. That's why that's why I was talking about being self-appointed. You can't sit up here and act like you know what it is that you need to know, and I'm going to go out and teach somebody else that, when you haven't even been called to do that. There has to be a hierarchy of some sort. And that's why I'm saying that the Father has to place someone in your life in order for this stuff to happen. All right? So the thing is, you have to find somebody that you have faith that he is doing the work of the Father that's going to teach you what you need to know. Yeah, it's a Mashiach, but who is a Mashiach letting teach somebody, huh? No.
So when you were talking about this, the example,
You can put that mic up to your mouth. It ain't gonna hurt you.
What came to mind earlier when you were talking about appointed versus self-appointed, what came to mind the example of King Shaul, the first king of Israel, right? He was appointed by Yahuah, by the hand of Prophet Shemuel to be the king, but you see that he self-appointed to, do the sacrifice and take the spoil, and he self-appointed, he tried to do too much that was outside of the instruction given to him that was ultimately led to his demise, right? That opened up those negative doors from his disobedience.
Right. It's like what we said. He assumed the role that the Father had gave to Samuel to give to Shaul. And that's the problem when you assume that you can do what he's appointed someone else to do. That's where you get in trouble. All right, you're right. Stay in your lane. That is the ultimate thing. You gotta learn your role.
I'm the king.
Go ahead, Nanaman.
And also, Moreh, I'm listening very carefully to what you're saying. You also have to be teachable.
Yeah, that's a big thing right there.
You got to be teachable, even though someone may be, the Father appoint somebody over you. You have to be willing to hear, to listen, and to be teachable, because you got to go into it with an open mind to listen, to learn, and to be teachable. So therefore, you can learn correctly how to follow directions and how to walk this thing out. Because if you don't, you're going to start putting in your own ideas and wrong information, and that's very confusing. You got to come in with a teachable, can-do attitude, not what you think is right, but what is right, and not really questioning about, oh, I feel this way or this way. No, that's not how this thing works. It's all about what the Father says, and it's in his word. It has nothing to do with how you feel, how you think. What the Father says he means, and that's it. And that is what the person above you is gonna be relating. And you gotta have that can-do mentality.
It's the same thing like in Genesis 15 when it said, and he believed, right? That was the test right there. You're going to believe what I have to tell you. And if you do, this is what's going to open up to getting that discernment and that wisdom. But if you're going to have this attitude that, okay, I'm going to find this out for myself, I'm not going to listen to somebody else, that's where your issue is. So yes, you do have to be teachable. But even just with the commandments and being obedient, you have to be willing to do this. You don't have to. Okay? You don't have to do it. But it's going to cost you something if you don't. Yeah. Go ahead. It's on.
And on the other end, you must trust the people, the Morehs, the Shiraks, and everybody that the Father put in your path.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to feel comfortable in going and asking questions. because majority of the time you're not going to know the answer, but you sitting there trying to ponder on it, how you were going to come up with the answer. So it does take a trust factor and much prayer of who you you know, because like I say, I trust all you Morehs in the Shiraks. So it's all what you know, if you got a problem, who will help you get that answer.
Just like that's what we're talking about with Emma Wambui. You know, you have to go to someone that you have the faith that they're doing what the Father is telling them to do. Then it also goes back to you will know them by their fruit. Remember? If they're giving you the type of example that's going to help you in your personal growth and development, which will be read, that's who you need to be following, right? Okay.
Land back off that. We know that knowledge pops up. But having the knowledge is one thing. You have to have the understanding also. And then you have to have the heart of Yah. And if you don't have those qualities,
it ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work. And even with that, you still have to wait on Yah to appoint you.
Oh yeah.
Or put you in a position, because only He knows who's ready for it. Where He wants to guide or lead you.
Oh yeah. Gotta have a heart of patience. It's not on your time. It's your time. When 2 or 3 are gathered. Anyone else?
Lincoln Moreh, can I just, unless somebody was going before me?
You go ahead.
Okay, Toda. Again, I'm asking just so that I can get a proper understanding. And thank you for everybody who's contributed. It helped me get it better. This is not mainly about, okay, like for instance, when we look at some facets in the Torah, some of them look pretty self-explanatory. I mean, like, for instance, thou shalt not steal and things like that. Are you talking mainly about, because I heard you talk about, or somebody else said, talk about life experiences. Is it like giving somebody experience, the teaching to help them grow in their emunah, to help them grow in being set apart? Is that what you're talking about mainly? Or are you
to the word now? According to the word, if you're with someone who's a prime example of how to do Torah, how to be in this walk, and they see that you're stumbling in some type of way, that's who you should be associating yourself with. We're talking about when you're not in compliance in one area, but the person that you're associating with is. And so you can use them as that example to get yourself on the right track. That is the personal growth and development that'll come with that, because you're seeing an example, someone who is bearing that good fruit. That's what that means. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is, I'm understanding what you mean right now, Toda.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? All right. If our hearts and minds are clear, we will stand and we shall close.
Hallelujah. Baruch Hashem Yahuah, Eloheinu melech haolam, Todah Rabbah Most High Yah, Todah Rabbah Abba, for this assembly of your elect, for those who have gathered here today, who believe in you, believe in your word. We are grateful for the nourishment that has been brought forth by your servant. Again, reminding us to continually assess and look within, identifying the matters that are not of you. And in this time of counting the HaOmer, that we are making a consecrated effort to, again, see the matters that divide us, see the matters in which that keeps us from experiencing the fullness of your understanding and your shalom. And so, Abba, we humbly ask, continue to bear with us, continue, if you so allow your patience to be abundant with us as we strive towards the way in you. For we understand, Abba, that you take pleasure in those who fear you and in those who wait for your loving commitment. And I do believe that all of us gathered here today, here online and abroad, we desire to do just that. And so, Abba, we thank you for your Torah, for your instruction to help us better understand how to treat one another, to how to guard for one another, how to utilize your discernment, and that even for leadership, as the children were in the wilderness, you appointed your prophet to speak on your behalf, and that when there was a question or a challenge, Abba, you made it clear that they are your appointed, they are your anointed. And so thusly, in this time, Abba, as we have your teachers, your servants, your Moreh, your Shirats, Abba, that and utilizing discernment, that we also are exercising reverence. And so we thank you, Abba, for that. And so, Abba, we also want to thank you for the fellowship and the testimony shared today. We thank you, Abba, for the union that has transpired, and continually want to pray a covering over their household as they embark on this journey together. We thank you, Abba. We also want to ask for traveling favor for those who have to go abroad, Abba. We humbly pray for covering and they're going and coming back. Hallelujah. We also want to thank you for this fellowship and the meal that is to take place. We thank you for the hands and the servants that have labored to bring it together. And until we meet again, Abba, we humbly ask, please continue to guard and keep your people. We ask these things with belief in your power and your might through Hamashiach Yahusha. Hallel to Yahuah. I mean.